Welcome to MiamiDade College. We look forward to assisting you throughout your educational journey. To help you understand Florida residency statutes and determine whether you qualify, this presentation will provide an in-depth review of the requirements and information necessary for in-state tuition and fees. As always, please visit a campus office of admissions and registration for additional information. MiamiDade College offers a world-class education at a very reasonable rate. By starting your academic career at MDC and then transferring to a four-year institution, or completing your bachelor's degree with us, you can save thousands of dollars in the overall cost of a college education. Additional savings are available for veterans, in-state residents, and select out-of-state high school graduates. A Florida resident for tuition purposes is defined as a person who has established and maintained legal residency in Florida for at least 12 consecutive months preceding the first day of classes of the term for which Florida residency is sought. Residency status for tuition purposes is classified as dependent or independent. To determine qualifications, we will discuss citizenship status, claimant information for residency purposes, determination of dependence or independent status, qualifying opportunities for special circumstances under state statutes, or outline the criteria for an out-of-state tuition or exemption of tuition and fee waiver. Definition of Florida residency for tuition purposes is based upon state statute, rules of the two higher education governing boards in Florida, and statewide guidelines developed by college and university administrators in conjunction with the statewide residency committee and the Florida Department of Education. All students who are admitted to a public college or university in Florida must complete an affidavit and provide proof of residency for tuition purposes in accordance with state law in order to pay in-state tuition. When applying to MiamiDade College, all students will be admitted as non-Florida residents. The required declaration form and supporting documentation to prove Florida residency is submitted prior to the first day of the term. You will be charged out-of-state tuition if you do not provide this information to the campus admissions and registration office before the first day of the term. To establish Florida residency for tuition purposes, you must complete a Florida Residency Declaration for Tuition Purposes form and submit it to the Office of Admissions and Registration, along with the supporting documents which will be discussed shortly. Dependency status is defined as dependent or independent. To be classified as a dependent student, you must be under the age of 24 unless one of the independent status circumstances would allow you to be the claimant and prove independence. Dependent students must provide their parents' or guardians' documentation for residency. A parent, as defined by Florida statutes, means either or both parents of a student, any guardian of a student, or any person in parental relationship to the student. Documentation in the form of an IRS tax return showing that the student was claimed as dependent in the previous income tax year may be required. To be classified as an independent student, you must be 24 years or older. Students who claim to be independent and are under the age of 24 must meet one of the following criteria and must provide the indicated documents. Provide 50% or more of their own support as indicated by the previous year IRS tax return showing a minimum income threshold. Independent students cannot be claimed as a dependent by another person on their taxes. Provide proof of marriage as indicated by a marriage license. Provide veteran identification by way of a DD-214. Be a ward of the court as indicated by court documents, or be a legally emancipated minor. To determine Florida residency for tuition purposes, the following documents are required. At least one of the two documents submitted as proof must be correlated to the first group, which includes a Florida driver's license relinquishing licenses from any other state, a Florida identification card with no evidence of ties to another state, an active Florida voter's registration card, a Florida vehicle registration, proof of a permanent home in Florida which is occupied as a primary residence by the individual or the individual's parent if the individual is a dependent child. transcripts from a Florida high school for multiple years if a Florida high school diploma or GED was earned within the last 12 months. Proof of a permanent full-time employment in Florida for at least 30 hours per week for a 12-month period. This may include paycheck stubs from the previous 12 consecutive months of work in Florida and/or a letter on official company letterhead from the employer verifying the previous 12 consecutive months of employment in Florida, or proof of a homestead exemption in Florida. If you provide a document from the second group, you must also provide a document from the first group to include declaration of domicile in Florida 12 months from the date the document was sworn to and subscribed as noted by the clerk of circuit court, a Florida professional or occupational license, proof of Florida incorporation, documents evidencing family ties in Florida, proof of membership in Florida-based charitable or professional organizations, utility bills, and proof of 12 consecutive months of payments, lease agreement, and proof of 12 consecutive months of payments, official federal, state, or court documents evidencing legal ties to Florida. To reclassify your residency status, a minimum of 3 documents are required, one of which must be from the first group of documents and the remaining 2 from either of the 2 groups. Please refer to the previous slide indicating documentation from groups 1 and 2. Miami-Dade College also provides waivers for out-of-state tuition and fees under other circumstances as determined by state or institutional policies. Veterans and active duty personnel should complete an out-of-state waiver form and provide appropriate documentation. You may be eligible for an out-of-state fee waiver if you attended a Florida high school for at least 3 consecutive years immediately before graduating from a Florida high school. Students who qualify under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival Status, or DACA, may qualify to have the out-of-state portion of their tuition waived. Pursuant to Florida Statute 1009.26, Miami-Dade College will waive undergraduate tuition for recipients of a Purple Heart or other combat decorations superior in precedence. Additionally, waivers are granted for homeless and foster care students with appropriate documentation. Please note receipt of these out-of-state tuition fee waivers does not constitute classification as a Florida resident for tuition purposes. Students who receive waivers remain classified as non-Florida residents for tuition purposes and are not eligible for state financial aid, including Bright Futures. We hope you have enjoyed the presentation and look forward to assisting you throughout your educational journey. For additional information, please call or visit our offices. Thank you.